Here is my 2022 list of graphically intensive Apple Arcade games. Number 10, we have Gear.Club Stradale. Gear.Club Stradale is the most realistic racer on Apple Arcade. In fact, it's one of the best looking games on the service, to some degree. Don't expect a AAA racing experience like Grid Autosport on the App Store, but it's a fun arcade racer that will show the GPU power of your Apple device. Sure, some of the background elements across locations look low in quality, especially trees and grass, but the cars are well detailed and the locations you drive often do feel quite alive. Recently added to the game were new game modes, maps, environments, new cars, new camera interior options, and most importantly, 3 different graphics preference configurations. Number 9 is Air Twister. Recently showcased at the Apple iPhone 14 September event, Air Twister is a 3D fantasy adventure and endless shooter. Soar through the sky, battling against invaders. Across 12 stages, be immersed across visually impressive locations, from water landscapes filled with giant mushrooms, deserts filled with very strange creatures and scenery, a luscious forest with colourful vegetation, to cyberpunk stages with high-tech equipment scattered across the map. While the game is let down with low-quality textures for face models and some rocks, the overall environments in each stage do look pretty good. The game runs on Unreal Engine 4, which has allowed it to support advanced graphics and post-processing effects, and up to 60 FPS on most new Apple devices. I strongly suggest playing this one on Apple TV for the best console-type experience, or on Mac, where it supports custom graphic options. Number 8, we have Horizon Chase 2. Horizon Chase 2 is a next-gen version of the original arcade racing game. It is now in beautiful, full 3D, and the art style takes inspiration from vintage racing posters. From strong brushstrokes and a super colourful atmosphere, Horizon Chase 2 combines those design elements to create its unique 3D look. It also includes a new dynamic climate system, highly detailed original cars, and the game is now running on Unreal Engine 4. Sure, it has a cartoony look, most of these games do, but it's hard to deny the game's beautiful graphics, while still adhering to its classic 90s signature gameplay from the original. Horizon Chase 2 also supports new car customization possibilities. You can go into the new garage shop, there are new locations, you can play against others in online multiplayer, and local multiplayer will be added to the game in the upcoming months. Number 7 is Hitchhiker. Hitchhiker won't be for everyone, as there is minimal gameplay here. You just listen to stories while you travel on the road, and you can sometimes interact with certain elements in your surroundings. That being said, it has some seriously gorgeous graphics, powered by the Unity engine, albeit presented with a cartoonish perspective. It reminds me of the Telltale series or the Life is Strange series. It has fully 3D animated models made possible with motion capture. The backgrounds are incredibly detailed too, from the outback highways, cafeteria, or going through the suburbs. It also has great shadow and lighting techniques that are shown on every device. It appears the iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV version run at a stable 30 FPS, but the Mac version gets up to 60 FPS. Number 6, we have The Gardens Between. In The Gardens Between, you dive into a single-player adventure puzzle game about memories, friendship, and time. On Apple Arcade, the game matches the next-gen version on PS5. Advanced graphical effects are being used here for reflections, distortion effects, depth textures, stencil rendering, and post effects from grain, bloom, vignette, and dynamic shadows. The game even runs at native resolution on M1 iPads and supports 60 FPS on new iPhone and iPads. Going further, it's one of the few games on the service with controller rumble and adaptive trigger support, and full keyboard support on iPad. The major downside to the arcade version of The Gardens Between is that it is only available on iPhone and iPad. It unfortunately offers no Mac or Apple TV version. Number 5 is LEGO Star Wars Castaways. You might not think it, but LEGO games have always pushed the possibilities of graphics on any platform. It's the same story on Apple Arcade. It has some of the best LEGO Star Wars cutscenes out there on the level of the Skywalker saga, and it has rich and detailed worlds to explore on foot. Castaways also received the 2022 Apple Design Award for visuals and graphics. The game's reverently rendered environments and smooth animations instantly immerse you in a galaxy of action, mystery, and the occasional dance party. And with endless customizations and characters to meet, the adventure literally just goes on and on and on forever. It just builds on itself. Number 4, we have World of Demons. World of Demons is brought to you by the people behind Bayonetta, Nier Automata, and the wonderful 101. It is currently my favourite third-person action game on arcade, and if you love Oceanhorn 2 or Samurai Jack, you must check out this one. Its art style is terrific, and evokes direct parallels to the 2006 game Okami. The art is drawn from a few different traditional art styles. Sumi-e, which is an ink wash painting style, uses monotone and bold brushstrokes, and Ukiyo-e is a wonderful woodblock art design. I may have said those incorrectly. Both of these styles have been presented in a hybrid fusion here. The 3D stages are absolutely stunning, and any given moment, if you take a screenshot, it will be a fantastic wallpaper. The monsters are incredibly grotesque and frightening too, however, they are very detailed. The game targets 60 FPS on everything. You can also change the graphics quality from low, medium, and high. Number 3 is Wonderbox The Adventure Maker. Wonderbox gives off massive Nintendo vibes, not just in terms of its graphical style, but also its approach to combat and especially multiplayer. The game was created in Unreal Engine 4, which allows the detail of environments to look extremely gorgeous. The lush green grass, waterfalls, hot lava, snow, and so on are really saturated and pop on your displays, especially on new devices like an Apple Silicon-based Mac, iPad Pro, or iPhone 14. Plus, the effects for creating your own levels is really well done here. The game has 2 graphic modes, battery saving, which lowers the FPS to 30, and high quality, which raises the FPS to 60 and has better quality textures. Number 2, we have FANTASIAN. I mean, how could you not include iconic RPG FANTASIAN on this list? After all, the game was made using real sets that were scanned into the game as 3D background assets. In fact, there are over 150 different handcrafted dioramas here, and the amount of intricate detail on each one is out of this world. Sometimes I just stop and look at my surroundings, and there is so much to see, and you have to think to yourself, holy moly. A lot of this is real in some sense. Some background scenes look a little low resolution, sure, but I can forgive this, as Mistwalker brought a complex 500GB masterpiece to a mobile-friendly 4GB version with automated scripts and tools thanks to Unity. It's definitely the best RPG on arcade and lasts for a massive 60 to 90 hours. Number 1, we have NBA 2K23 Arcade Edition. I know sports games are not for everyone, but we can't deny NBA 2K23 Arcade Edition offers the best and most realistic graphics on this platform. On offer are highly detailed players. You can see individual strands of hair, dimples, blemishes, eyes blinking and moving left and right, and so forth. Furthermore, it has advanced shadows for player models, support for up to ultra-high textures, you can see reflections on the court from the lights and player models, there is tone mapping, and decent animations and motion capture are here. New devices support 60 FPS and up to 120 FPS on iPad Pro and Apple Silicon-based Macs. Sure, sometimes the body movement is rough, and weird lighting pop-in occurs and spectators occasionally look really weird and clip into each other, but from my knowledge, this is a problem with the game on any platform.
Left side, Smart. Got a piece of it, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Adebayo.
Yeah, gets a finger on it, but just can't quite come up with the steal.
Here are some bonus games. The Oregon Trail is a modern twist on the trials and tribulations of the road to Oregon. Players will be immersed in exhilarating journeys ranging from the historically accurate to the totally extreme. Despite having mostly 2D graphics, the backgrounds of this game are absolutely lovely. Clap Hands Golf is a 3D arcade ultimate team golf game. It gives off Nintendo Wii U style graphics, and that is a big compliment. Baldo is a Legend of Zelda inspired action RPG. It uses a technique called cell shading. This is used to transform a 3D model into a 2D anime look. This allows for some really impressive landscapes and building interiors. The use of depth of field also is very good here. To be fair, graphically Asphalt 8 isn't on par with Asphalt 9, but that game is a non-arcade, so I'm showing this one. Asphalt 8 still has some fairly impressive visuals on display. It has 4K res support on Apple TV 4K and Mac, a complex physics engine similar to the newest game, great weather effects, complex geometry, pixel shaders, decent shadows for the game's age, high resolution textures, lens flare effects, motion blur, on-screen camera effects, and shattering debris effects. Wylde Flowers is all about identity, accepting others, and supporting your community. As the game begins, your character, fresh off a breakup in the city, relocates to your grandmother's farm to reset, recalibrate, and maybe meet some new people, but as the narrative evolves to represent all ages, cultures, and sexualities, the game ultimately tells a much larger story. It's a pretty good looking game, I'll give it that. I don't really know what else to say, I haven't actually played this one. What do you think of these Apple Arcade games with what I call good graphics? Are you impressed or disappointed? Do you agree with me, disagree? Do you wish there were more realistic looking games on Apple Arcade, and not ones with all of this arcade and stylized graphics going on? Just like last year's video on this topic, I imagine the comments section will be very interesting, so I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Please be nice. Anyway, leave a like to show your support and subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with everything Apple gaming related. My name's Stewie and thanks for watching.